with your host, Jaden Miller.
Good day. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for joining me on my podcast, Think About It with Jaden Miller. Don't forget to check out my website at www.jadenmiller.com. That's JAYDENMILLER.com. Please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and like, comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Castbox, iHeartRadio, Podvine, and so many more. So listen, today I want to talk a little bit about balancing your life, something that has not always been very easy for me. So as I talk about this and as we think about this together on Think About It with Jaden Miller, know that I'm speaking to me as well as speaking to you. So I struggle with that whole work-life balance, just balancing life in general. And so hopefully this podcast will be one that will encourage you and to help you to balance your life, and also to help me to balance mine too. As you guys know, mental health means striking a balance in all aspects of your life: social, physical, spiritual, economic, and mental. Reaching a balance is a learning process, something that I'm dealing with now. At times, you may tip the balance too much in one direction and have to find your footing again. Your personal balance will be unique, and your challenge will be to stay mentally healthy by keeping that balance. So what I'm going to do is provide some suggestions to help you find and keep your balance. And again, as I go through these, I'm talking about me as well as talking about you. One of the things that we can do to help find and keep our balance is to build healthy self-esteem. Self-esteem is something that I struggle with. I've struggled with all of my life. And hopefully, just talking these things out and sharing them with you will help me with mine too. You should know that self-esteem is more than just seeing your good qualities. It is being able to see all your abilities and weaknesses together, accepting them, and doing your best with what you have. For example, you may not play tennis well enough to be a star, but that should not stop you from enjoying the game. So when we talk about building healthy self-esteem, we also have to build self-confidence, build confidence. We have to take a good look at our good points. Ask ourselves some questions. What do you do best? Where are your skills and interest areas? How would a friend describe you? And then look at our weak points. What do you have difficulty doing? What things make you feel frustrated? Take a look at this list. Remember that all of us have our positive and negative sides. We let our strengths shine, and we build on our weak points to help us to mature and grow. Again, note to self. All right. Receive as well as give. Many of us confuse having a realistic view of our good points with conceit. We have to stop that. We have trouble accepting kindness from others. We often shrug off a compliment with a yes, but, and put ourselves down. I'm really, really bad about that myself. We have to learn how to accept compliments. So the next time someone compliments you, say, "Thank you. I'm glad you think so." Then think about other compliments you've had and how good they made you feel. All right. So that's, again, an area of healthy self-esteem that we need to really, truly work on. And we need to learn how to receive as well as give. Create positive parenting and family relationships. We have to continue to work on building good family relationships. In a number of different families, there's estrangement. Moms don't talk to some kids, or parents, have been estranged by their children because the children don't like something that happened when they were younger, or sisters don't talk to sisters, or brothers don't talk to brothers, or brothers don't talk to sisters. We have those things happening in our family. So we really need to work on building good family relationships. We have to learn to value each member's skills and abilities, and learn how to give and accept support, which sometimes we struggle with. And so under that, we have to make time just to be a family. We have to schedule time for both serious things and fun things. We have to learn how to listen respectfully without interruption to what each person has to say, and we have to learn how to do that frequently. All right. That's so important if you want to create those positive parenting and family relationships on our road to having a great balance in our life. We have to make friends who count. Okay. Some of us have those negative nannies or negative Naomis, that are in our lives. People that, always have something negative or bring toxicity to our relationships in terms of our friendships. We have to learn how to let those people go. Friends help you understand that you are not alone. They help you by sharing your ups and downs, and you in turn help them. Together, you and your friends share life's challenges and celebrate life's joys. So one of the things that I thought about is maybe we need to build like a friendship tree. In order to keep in touch, we should invite a friend to lunch, make sure that we have regular conversations. And then we also should encourage new friendships. Ask your friend to bring someone you've never met if you're going to have a lunch or something like that, or have a phone call conversation or something like that. So those are just some ways to, again, ensure that we have a good balance in life, and then to make friends who count. And that's the key word, make friends who count. Count is the key word, okay? Again, we want people that are going to be positive in our lives, not negative. The other thing that I thought about when it comes to balancing life is figuring out our priorities, okay? That, again, is one that I struggle with. Advertisers try very hard to convince us that we need their products and services. Our challenge is to know the difference between our real needs, and our real needs would be things like food and shelter and clothing and transportation, and our wants. And our wants would be things like a bigger TV, a new CD player, the latest fashions, a flashy car. And to find the right balance in our spending. Financial problems cause stress, so it's important to avoid overspending. All right. So one of the things that we do in terms of figuring out our priorities is to create a meaningful budget. We should learn how to write out a budget for ourselves and ask these questions. Is it realistic? Have you planned what to do with money left over for your wants? Which wants are most important to you? So those are just the parts of creating a meaningful budget and the questions that we need to ask ourselves and to come up with some really great answers for. Get involved. This is another area that I personally struggle with outside of work or family. I'm not really big on volunteering and getting involved in things. Not very good at that. So I think that's an area in balancing life that I've got to work on. Being involved in things that really matter to us provide a great feeling of purpose and satisfaction. We should always remember that we make a difference no matter how big or small our efforts. So some ways that we can volunteer would be to read to children at a local library, visit an elderly person at home or in the hospital, serve on a committee or the board of your favorite charity, organize a cleanup of a local park, help a neighbor clean out his or her garage. So those are just some things, that we can do to volunteer, to get involved, to help us to feel like we do have purpose and satisfaction in our lives. Learn to manage stress effectively. Hello, really, really talking to me again, and I know some of you all out there can really empathize with me, and you know what this is yourself, because so many of us have stress and don't know how to deal with it. But the first thing we should understand and know is that stress is a normal part of life. How you deal with it will depend on your attitude. You may become overwhelmed by things that other people deal with easily. Learning to keep a balance among work, family, and leisure is difficult and needs skillful management of your time. Planning helps, and so does staying calm. One of the things that I read that we can do to help manage stress effectively is to take a 5-minute vacation. All right, a 5-minute vacation each day. Set aside 5 minutes. Now, I say 5 minutes. It can be certainly much longer than that for you, but set aside 5 minutes for a mental health break. Close your office door or go into another room and daydream about a place, person, or idea, or think about nothing at all. You will feel like you have been on a mini vacation. that sounds like a very, very good de-stressor to me. All right. So hopefully that's an option or a suggestion that you may want to try yourself. Take a 5-minute vacation. Maybe it'll be 5 minutes. Maybe it'll be 10 minutes. Maybe it'll be an hour. But whatever you feel that you need to help you to manage stress effectively, that's something you should try. Cope with changes that affect you. It would be nice to live happily ever after, but there will always be challenges in our lives. Children have accidents, parents get ill, jobs disappear. Dealing with these unexpected and often unwanted changes can be stressful, so we need to be flexible and learn ways to cope. Gosh, that's so hard. I know, man. I think one of the things that we can do is find strength in numbers. Sometimes we need to search out a support group that deals with the issues we are facing. By teaming up with people who share our problems, they may help us to find fresh solutions. You can also try starting a group of your own by using public service announcements, either on Instagram or Facebook or social media or whatever you feel would be best to get the word out. All right. But, and that, it also includes involving family members and friends as well. I mean, that can be part of your group, that you search out for support. All right. The other thing I came up with was to deal with your emotions. We are all challenged to find safe and constructive ways to express and share our feelings of anger, sadness, joy, and fear. Your ways of experiencing and expressing emotions are unique because we all are unique. Identify and deal with moods. Find out what makes you happy, sad, joyful, or angry. How can you deal with your moods? Share joyful news with a friend. Cry on a friend's shoulder. When you feel blue, physical exercise. Can't talk today. Physical exercise. Still can't talk. Physical exercise can help you deal with your anger. That's something that I've gotten into in the last week or so. I get up in the morning, usually at 4 or 5 o'clock, and I go and work out. And that really does help me to ensure that I work out those issues that I have physically and also mentally. All right. Maybe keep a stack of your favorite cartoons or stories or, or the reels or stories on Instagram or whatever. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll go on YouTube and watch some of my favorite comedians, and those things will give me the opportunity to laugh, and to feel better. Lastly, have a spirituality to call your own. Learn to be at peace with yourself. Get to know who you are, what makes you really happy, what you are really passionate about. Learn to balance what you are able to change about yourself with what you cannot change. It's all about getting to know and trust your inner self. And so in order to do that, you have to really spend quality time with yourself. Set aside time to be totally alone. Do a breathing exercise. Try counting your breaths from 1 to 4 and then start at 1 again. Start at 1 again. Or do something you love to do, like dancing, going to a baseball game, or building a birdhouse, or whatever works for you. Those are just some ways that you can learn to be at peace with yourself. Sometimes we really struggle to find out what our purpose is. And oftentimes when we find out what our purpose is, then we can live a life that has the balance that we are all so much seeking for, because we are certainly out of balance. We are out of balance when it comes to how we eat. We're out of balance in some of our relationships. Sometimes we're up, for long periods of times, and then sometimes we're down for long periods of times, and that's not balance, not at all. And so there is nothing more important than maintaining your mental health and making sure that you have good self-esteem, making sure that you receive as well as you give. That really can do a lot for you. Making sure that you create positive parenting and family relationships is important. Make friends who count. Make sure to eliminate from your circle of friends those negative people, those toxic people. You don't need that in terms of your mental health and having balance in life. You just have to learn to say goodbye to some people. Figure out your priorities, find out what you need and what you want. There is that difference. Create a meaningful budget for yourself and determine what is realistic. All right. Get involved by volunteering or whatever you feel is necessary to help you to ensure that you have that purpose and satisfaction in life. I know I've got to learn how to manage stress effectively, so my suggestions to you on taking a 5-minute vacation for a mental health break, again, for me, it may have to be a lot longer. Cope with changes that affect you. I mentioned starting a support group or having people that are in your inner circle to help you to deal with those changes that come up in life. We have to learn how to deal with our emotions, and all of us have different ways of experiencing and expressing emotions because we are all unique. And so we've got to figure out what makes us happy, sad, joyful, angry, and learn how to deal with those. And then lastly, we got to make sure that we have a spirituality to call our own. We have to learn to be at peace with ourselves. We have to get to know who we are, because if we don't know who we are and know what makes us happy, then it is so difficult to get to know someone else and allow them to get to know us. Okay. And so all of that energy, that negative energy that we have, all it does is come out and then it's projected onto the other person. So make sure you spend quality time with yourself. Make sure to set aside that time to be alone. Do things that you think will work best for you. All right, this is Jaden Miller. Don't forget to check out my website at www.jadenmiller.com. Please like and share and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and like, comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. Hey, if you like to listen to me on Spotify, I'm there. If you like to listen to me on Apple Podcasts, you can find me there. I'm on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Podcast Addict, Good Pods, and so many other ones. So again, thank you guys for joining me on my podcast. Think about it with Jaden Miller. I want you to think about all of the things that I talked about and use them to make sure that you have a healthy balance in your life. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Think About It with Jaden Miller. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his YouTube channel, and like and follow on your favorite podcast platform.